Well, thanks for staying with us today. I'm Doug Reardon.
And I'm Annie Satowski. Tomorrow, all eyes will be on the second impeachment trial of President Trump following the insurrection at the Capitol last month.
And the president's role is what's up for debate. But one local professor says that conspiracy theories undoubtedly played a big part. Our Lauren Edwards found out how thousands of people bought into misinformation and how they are now finding a way out.
But, with conspiracies, it's all about how people formulate explanations about why the world is the way it is. And
especially politically, in 2020, MSU professor Dustin Carnahan studies misinformation and says when it comes to conspiracy theories, they're more so based on feelings and not facts.
People want to hear things that tell them that they're right. We call this the confirmation bias.
And people's bias and beliefs were on full display on January 6th when hundreds of Trump supporters and QAnon believers stormed the U.S. Capitol.
There were this conspiracy that, there's this individual in government that President Trump is acting to kind of combat this cabal of secretive actors.
And global elites trying to take over the world, he says. Trump is on trial this week for allegedly inciting the riots. But Carnahan says the misinformation that led people to the Capitol began shaping up years ago.
There are a number of factors. I think one that stands out as potentially most important is that we've seen kind of a sustained attack in many respects against the press.
He says Trump calling the media and journalists fake news fueled his followers to mistrust them.
I also think that we've seen just a general decline in trust towards experts, towards people in positions of knowledge, and specifically in the scientific community, but also beyond that, journalists included.
He says it created an anti-intellectual movement where questioning and pushing back against facts became the goal.
And this is where you start creating spaces online and elsewhere where people kind of jump in and say, well, you may not trust this official account. Here's an alternative account.
However, since January 6th, there's been a shift in momentum, he says. Social media giants banned groups that promoted misinformation from their sites. And more importantly, he says people began questioning the theories they held dear.
You started seeing people say, wait a second, this isn't what we were told was going to happen. We thought that, President Trump had our back.
Slowly but surely, people began leaving the QAnon movement, he says. And if you find yourself trying to help a loved one leave, he suggests being gentle and attacking the belief, not the person.
When people come to their own realization that this isn't true, that this is wrong, that tends to be a longer lasting effect and a bigger effect.
In Grand Rapids, Lauren Edwards, Fox 17 News.